When most people imagine a millionaire, a very clear picture comes to mind. A luxury car parked in a long driveway, a massive house in an expensive neighborhood, designer clothes, flashy watches, and a lifestyle that screams success. Movies, social media, and advertising have trained us to believe that wealth must always be visible. If someone is truly rich, we assume they must look rich. But what if that picture is completely wrong? What if the real millionaires don't live in mansions, don't drive luxury cars, and don't wear expensive brands? What if the wealthiest people in America live quietly, invisibly, right next door? This is the powerful idea behind the Millionaire Next Door, written by Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko. The book is not based on motivation, opinions, or internet advice. It is based on decades of real research, interviews, and data collected from thousands of actual millionaires across the United States. And what they discovered shocked almost everyone. The authors found that most millionaires do not live flashy lives. Instead, they live in average neighborhoods, drive used cars, wear simple clothes, and spend far less than they earn. These people don't try to look rich, they try to stay rich. The book introduces two important types of people. The first type is called UAWs, under accumulators of wealth. The second type is PAWs, prodigious accumulators of wealth. Understanding the difference between these two groups changes the way you see money forever. Under accumulators of wealth are people who earn high incomes but save very little. They might be doctors, lawyers, executives, or celebrities. They live in expensive homes, drive luxury cars, and spend heavily to maintain an image of success. On paper, they look rich, but in reality, they have very little net worth compared to their income. Prodigious accumulators of wealth are the opposite. Many of them earn average or slightly above average incomes. They don't seek attention. They don't chase status. Instead, they quietly build wealth year after year through discipline, patience, and smart financial behavior. Here's the surprising truth. Income is not the same as wealth. You can earn a lot of money and still be poor, and you can earn a modest income and still become wealthy. Most people confuse spending with success. Real millionaires understand that wealth is what you don't see. It's the money not spent on cars, clothes, and lifestyle inflation. It's the money saved, invested, and protected over time. The authors explain that many people live their lives trying to impress others. Neighbors, coworkers, strangers, people who don't really matter. Millionaires next door do the opposite. They don't care about appearances. They care about freedom, security, and independence. One of the most powerful findings in the book is that most millionaires are first-generation wealthy. They didn't inherit money. They built it themselves. They didn't rely on luck. They relied on habits. These habits are simple but not easy. They budget carefully. They control spending. They invest consistently. They avoid unnecessary debt. They think long-term. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" they ask, "Is this necessary?" Instead of upgrading their lifestyle every time income increases, they keep expenses stable and invest the difference. A major reason these millionaires succeed is that they live below their means. This single habit appears again and again throughout the research. Living below your means creates surplus. Surplus creates investment. Investment creates wealth. The book also challenges the belief that wealthy people are high spenders. In fact, the opposite is true. Millionaires are often extremely careful shoppers. They research purchases. They compare prices. They buy quality, but not luxury. They value durability over status. Even when it comes to cars, one of the biggest status symbols, most millionaires drive modest vehicles. Many buy used cars and keep them for years. To them, a car is transportation, not identity. The authors tell us that many luxury brands depend not on the wealthy, but on people who want to look wealthy. The irony is powerful. People trying to appear rich often fund the illusion by destroying their own financial future. Another shocking discovery is about housing. Many millionaires live in neighborhoods where their homes cost far less than their net worth would allow. They intentionally avoid expensive neighborhoods because higher housing costs bring higher taxes, higher maintenance, and social pressure to spend more. They don't want to be the poorest person in a rich neighborhood. They prefer to be the wealthiest person in a normal one. This mindset protects them from lifestyle creep, the slow, invisible rise in spending that destroys wealth over time. The book also talks about self-control. Millionaires are not smarter than everyone else. They are not more talented. They simply have better control over impulses. They delay gratification. They are comfortable saying no to themselves and to others. While many people spend money to feel successful today, millionaires invest money to feel free tomorrow. Freedom is the real goal. Freedom from stress. Freedom from debt. Freedom from working forever. Freedom to choose how they live their lives. The authors emphasize that wealth is built slowly. There are no shortcuts, no viral hacks, no overnight success. Most millionaires take decades to build their net worth. They start early, stay consistent, and avoid big mistakes. They understand the power of compounding, how small, regular investments grow into massive wealth over time. They respect time more than excitement. One of the most interesting insights in the book is about children. Millionaires are careful not to spoil their kids. They don't give unlimited financial support because they know it destroys independence and motivation. Instead, they teach responsibility, work ethic, and financial discipline. They want their children to become capable adults, not dependent ones. In contrast, many high-income families unintentionally create financial dependence by funding expensive lifestyles without teaching money skills. This leads to generations that look rich but remain financially fragile. Throughout the book, the authors remind us that wealth is invisible. You cannot measure it by clothes, cars, or houses. True wealth shows itself in peace of mind, options, and stability. The Millionaire Next Door is not trying to impress you. They are trying to protect their future, and that's why you often don't notice them. One of the most important ideas in The Millionaire Next Door is that wealth is not built by chance. It is built by planning. The authors found that most millionaires spend an unusual amount of time thinking about their finances. They set clear goals, track their expenses, and measure their progress regularly. Money is not something they ignore or leave to luck. It is something they manage deliberately. In contrast, many high-income earners rarely plan their finances. They assume that because they earn a lot, everything will work out. But without planning, high income often leads to high spending, not high wealth. The research revealed that millionaires are far more likely to follow a written budget. Not a complicated one, but a simple system that tells them where their money goes. They know how much they spend on housing, food, transportation, and entertainment. This awareness gives them control. Control gives them confidence. Another powerful insight from the book is that financial independence is more important to millionaires than social status. They do not chase approval. They do not try to keep up with neighbors, relatives, or coworkers. In fact, many millionaires actively avoid environments where spending pressure is high. They understand something most people miss. When you surround yourself with big spenders, you are forced into a spending competition you can never win. Instead, millionaires choose communities and friendships that match their values, not their income. This protects their savings and reduces emotional pressure to spend. The book also explains that many people who look successful are actually financially stressed. Large homes come with large mortgages. Luxury cars come with loans and insurance costs. Expensive lifestyles create constant pressure to earn more, work more, and stay trapped. Millionaires Next Door reject this trap. They design their lives to be financially resilient. They keep fixed expenses low so that even if income drops, their lifestyle remains stable. This gives them peace of mind that money cannot buy for most people. A major topic in the book is occupation. Contrary to popular belief, most millionaires are not doctors, lawyers, or executives. Many are small business owners, entrepreneurs, farmers, engineers, and people in unglamorous professions. They choose careers that allow control over income, expenses, and time. Small businesses may not always generate massive salaries, but they often generate consistent profits and long-term value. Millionaires focus on ownership, not just income. They also avoid industries where image matters more than results. Careers that demand expensive clothing, luxury cars, and high-status lifestyles often destroy wealth, even when income is high. The authors introduce a powerful formula to measure expected wealth based on age and income. According to this formula, a person's net worth should increase steadily over time if they manage money wisely. Many high earners fall far below this expectation because they spend too much. Many quiet, average income individuals exceed it because they save and invest consistently. This reinforces the book's core message. Wealth is built by behavior, not income. One of the strongest behaviors shared by millionaires is self-discipline. They resist impulse purchases. They think before spending. They do not use shopping as entertainment or emotional comfort. They are not anti-enjoyment. They simply choose enjoyment wisely. They spend on things that truly matter to them and cut spending everywhere else. This selective spending allows them to live well without living wastefully. The book also highlights how millionaires view debt. They are not completely debt-free, but they are extremely cautious. They avoid consumer debt whenever possible. Credit cards are paid off monthly. Car loans are minimized or avoided. Mortgages are chosen carefully, not emotionally. They understand that debt reduces freedom. Every monthly payment is a future obligation. Fewer obligations mean more choices. Another critical insight from the book is about time. Millionaires value time more than luxury. They prefer flexible schedules, independence, and control over their day. Many intentionally reject higher-paying jobs if those jobs demand excessive stress or loss of freedom. This explains why many millionaires appear ordinary. They are optimizing for a life they enjoy, not a lifestyle others admire. The authors also studied how millionaires invest. Most do not chase hot stocks or risky schemes. They invest consistently in long-term assets. They prefer boring investments that work. They avoid speculation and emotional decisions. They also do something very important. They invest before they spend, not after. Saving is treated as a priority, not an afterthought. This pay-yourself-first mindset ensures wealth grows automatically. The book strongly criticizes the culture of consumption. Advertising convinces people that buying things leads to happiness. Millionaires know this is false. They understand that happiness comes from security, autonomy, and purpose, not from possessions. They do not confuse consumption with achievement. One of the most revealing chapters discusses parents and children. Many wealthy parents unintentionally harm their children by giving too much financial support. This creates dependency and weakens motivation. Millionaires Next Door avoid this mistake. They help their children with education and guidance, but they expect responsibility and independence. They do not fund irresponsible spending. They do not rescue poor financial decisions repeatedly. This approach creates strong, capable adults rather than entitled ones. The authors found that children of disciplined parents are far more likely to become financially successful themselves, not because of inheritance, but because of learned behavior. As the book progresses, the message becomes increasingly clear. Wealth is quiet. Wealth is disciplined. Wealth is patient. Most people will never become wealthy because they chase comfort today instead of freedom tomorrow. They choose immediate pleasure over long-term security. Millionaires make the opposite choice, again and again, over many years. And that is why they win. As The Millionaire Next Door moves toward its conclusion, the authors bring together all their research into a clear picture of what truly creates wealth. By this point, one thing becomes undeniable. Millionaires are not extraordinary people living extraordinary lives. They are ordinary people who consistently make uncommon financial choices. One of the most important sections of the book outlines the core traits shared by most millionaires. These traits are not about intelligence, education, or luck. They are about behavior, mindset, and long-term thinking. First, millionaires take full responsibility for their financial lives. They do not blame the economy, the government, their employer, or their upbringing. They understand that no one cares about their financial future more than they do. This sense of responsibility leads them to plan, save, and invest with intention. Second, they allocate their time, energy, and money efficiently. Millionaires are careful about how they spend not just money, but time. They avoid activities that provide short-term pleasure but long-term damage. They choose productive habits over distractions. This efficiency compounds over decades, just like money does. Third, they believe financial independence is more important than displaying high social status. This belief protects them from many common traps. They do not buy things to impress people they barely know. They do not upgrade their lifestyle simply because income increases. They measure success internally, not socially. Fourth, millionaires live well below their means, not temporarily, but permanently. This is not about extreme sacrifice. It is about alignment. Their spending reflects their values, not their ego. Because of this, saving is natural, not painful. Fifth, they avoid lifestyle inflation. When income rises, they increase investments, not expenses. This single habit explains why two people with the same income can end up in completely different financial positions after 20 or 30 years. Sixth, they are financially independent because they choose to be, not because of inheritance or sudden wealth. The book clearly shows that most millionaires receive little or no financial help from their parents. In fact, many receive less support than average. This forces them to develop discipline early. Seventh, they choose the right economic opportunities. Millionaires often work in businesses or professions that reward ownership, consistency, and patience. They avoid careers where appearance, prestige, and spending are required to maintain status. The authors make a powerful point here. Many people earn high incomes but work in environments that silently force them to spend more. The cost of looking successful often exceeds the benefit of earning more. The book then returns to one of its strongest themes: frugality. Frugality, as described by the authors, is not cheapness. It is not deprivation. It is intentional spending. Millionaires are frugal in areas that do not matter to them so they can spend freely in areas that do. They may drive modest cars but take meaningful vacations. They may live in simple homes but invest heavily in education or businesses. Frugality gives them flexibility. The authors warn that society often misunderstands frugality. People assume frugal individuals lack ambition. In reality, frugality is what creates ambition by removing financial pressure. When you don't owe your future to debt, you are free to take calculated risks. Another major theme in the final chapters is economic outpatient care, money given repeatedly to adult children. The research shows that excessive financial help often does more harm than good. It reduces self-reliance, weakens motivation, and delays maturity. Millionaires Next Door are careful helpers. They provide education, values, and guidance, but not unlimited money. They want their children to succeed on their own, not depend on parental support forever. This approach explains why wealth rarely lasts across generations. When money is given without discipline, it disappears. When discipline is taught without money, wealth is rebuilt. The book also addresses a hard truth. Many people say they want to be wealthy, but their actions prove otherwise. They spend instead of save. They consume instead of invest. They seek comfort instead of freedom. Millionaires are willing to feel slightly uncomfortable today to avoid being extremely uncomfortable tomorrow. The authors emphasize that wealth is built quietly. There are no announcements, no applause, no visible milestones. Most of the process feels boring. And that is exactly why most people fail, because they seek excitement, not results. Millionaires are patient. They understand that small advantages, applied consistently over long periods, produce massive outcomes. They respect time as their greatest asset. As the book closes, the message becomes almost philosophical. Wealth is not about money alone. It is about control over your life, control over your time, control over your choices, control over your future. The millionaire next door does not look rich. They do not need to. They have something far more valuable than luxury. They have financial independence. They sleep well at night. They are not stressed by bills. They are not trapped by jobs they hate. They are not performing for society. They built their wealth slowly, quietly, and intentionally. And the most powerful lesson of all is this: if they can do it, so can you. Not by earning more, not by showing off, not by chasing trends, but by living below your means, by investing consistently, by valuing freedom over image, by choosing discipline over impulse. That is the real secret of the millionaire next door. And now that you know it, the choice is yours. Thanks for watching. If this summary helped you, drop a comment below and tell me your thoughts about money. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who wants to take control of their money. See you in the next video.